Powwow, yo, yippee yay guys, it's Powwow number 38 and I'm replacing Cyrus for this one because he's unavailable unfortunately. But don't worry, we're still going to go over the most important things that SwissBorg wants to tell you this week. In today's content, we're going to be talking about a new exchange that's super exciting that comes along, a giveaway, so stay tuned for that one. And also the different events that we'll be attending as a team, so you'll be able to say hi to some of the employees, including me, Alex Batu, Cyrus, and many others. But let's get right into it for more information. But before we get into all that, let's look at the question of the week. Bolan is asking, est-ce que le open book va être utilisé pour les ordres limites? The answer is no. The open book is something we're going to be talking about later on. It's the newest addition to the smart engine, and it's mostly going to be used to get the best price action for you when you do any trade, especially on the Solana ecosystem. News of the week, we have some extremely bullish news this week. MicroStrategy has actually bought or done a small top-up of $1.1 billion, which is 183,000 Bitcoin, which is a super bullish sign ahead of the cuts that we're going to be talking about later. Trump is also to launch the World Liberty Financial crypto platform on September 16, so we can see that if he is to win the presidential election, we can be looking for some strong crypto support here, which is another extremely bullish sign. And then Coinbase launches CBBTC, a wrapped Bitcoin competitor, which shows that even regulated Nasdaq platforms are still diversifying their portfolio and making sure that Bitcoin and other crypto or digital assets are being reached by more people, which is always good, even if it is a wrapped Bitcoin competitor. Market update. This week is all about the FOMC. Obviously, Powell is going to be tightening rates for the first time in a very long time. It's going to have a huge impact, make the market extremely volatile, and coupled with the US elections, we're just ready to see the market going in any direction. Hopefully upwards though. We'll talk about why, but there's a few things that we should know. The first one is that for once, it's extremely unclear how much the Fed is actually going to be cutting rates. And investors, they like clarity. They like to be able to expect things, anticipate, and this is actually quite rare. The discrepancy here in expectations is very, very large, which also indicates that we're probably going to see even more volatility than usual around these meetings. Now, on this second slide, we just wanted to show that what is expected is not a short-run boost like we could hope for, but more like a long-run, nice 6-12 months nice correction in the upside. This is generally what happens when they cut rates, but we also see that there are different reasons why the US can cut rates. It could either be for normalization, it could be because of panic, or it could be because it's a recession. And depending on the reason, we're going to have a more bullish or more bearish outlook on the market in the longer run, on the medium to long run. What we would want is to have either normalization or panic as a reason for the cuts. But recession wouldn't be that good for high risk assets. If we look on this third slide, the US recession risk, however, we see that it's quite unlikely for it to actually be a recession because of the high GDP. We're actually expecting that that the US is expanding, which would mean that it's more probably normalization and or panic reason for the cut. So if I have to recap it in words that are maybe a little bit less technical, we're going to be cutting rates for a reason. And depending on what that reason is, it's a good or a bad sign for the market. And it's looking like it's one of the good reasons. So it should be, hopefully at least, a good sign for the market. Now, on this last slide, we want to show that BTC is still raging. So there's the support. There's 71,000 and 64,000 we're expecting, or we can take the 53 and 73. We're expecting BTC to keep going up and down until it has a clear direction in which to go. The leading indicators are going to be if indeed we're right about the reason for the rate cut and if the elections are favorable. The market would be favorable to a Trump win. So if these two data points are deemed to be correct, if Trump wins and if we're normalizing instead of going into a recession, then we're looking at extremely bullish signs for Bitcoin and we're looking for an upside trend. But obviously, if we are wrong and Kamala wins and it's actually a recession, we are looking at more of a downwards trend. So these are the things that we have to kind of make our minds up to and have to decide how we believe about it in order to make our decisions about our investments. But here's all of the information, and obviously there's a lot more that you can find on internet. Even talking to ChatGPT could help. One last interesting data point is actually the performance of altcoins compared to Bitcoin. We've seen that altcoins, only 8% of them have outperformed Bitcoin in the 90 rolling days, which means that there are very few altcoins actually doing better than Bitcoin. But now that number is sprung back up to 23, so it might be a sign of strengthening for altcoins, which would be good news for anyone who's not only holding Bitcoin. So I'm guessing most people watching this video right now. This week's market update, as we can see, is very volatile. Not that many tokens in the green, not that many tokens in the red. We have a little bit of everything, but the big winner is Mother. Mother is Iggy Azalea's meme token, and it's very nice to see it being outperforming. It has been doing not so well in these last few weeks, so it's picking back up, and it's good for everyone who's being rewarded for taking the risk and following Iggy. Remembering that Iggy is a celebrity and that's kind of sector hasn't had the best popularity, but she's one of the few that actually knows what she's talking about. You can listen to her in the different Twitter spaces that she does, and she's genuinely interested in blockchain. And so it might work, it might not work, but something that's for certain is that she's putting her heart into it, and it's very nice to see and very interesting. Wish all the best to her project. SwissBorg events. We're going to be at an exclusive boat party in Barcelona. If you are close by, feel free to hop on our Discord, shoot me a DM, and we'll be able to get you an invite there. But also we'll be at La Fort du Valais in Switzerland. For those of you who are close, you know it's happening and you know already what it is, so no need to explain it. We'll have all of our RMs and Alexandre Petou over there, so you can say hi to them. And in Geneva on October 7th, we will have a Tesla with SwissBorg event, Intro to Crypto, where you'll be able to test drive some Tesla cars, and you'll learn more about crypto with Alex Petou and myself. And we will also be drinking some cocktails and networking. So it's a very nice area to just come, drive, then drink, then chat. Hope to see you there. Smart Engine update. We're super excited to be adding one more exchange on our Smart Engine, which makes us even more powerful, even cheaper, even faster, and have even more choices and routes for all of our users to enjoy. It means that when you want to do an order from one place to another, you'll be doing it with an even better performance than before, which was already the best performance that we know of. So we're going to be rolling out promotional content and whole campaigns and ads about it. We're going to have a whiteboard ad where we explain exactly how it works, but also just a cool techie look ad that we showed in the Guardians video that you can check on the YouTube channel with our infamous tagline, better than sex. We're going to be blasting everything and you're going to see us for sure. So looking forward to this. In more details, we are adding two new dexes actually, OpenBook and Lifinity, and we're upgrading Radium. So yeah, as you can see on this slide here, it means they're both Solana dexes. We're really Solana focused right now, but it means that for example, trading meme coins on Solana from one to the other, or from BTC to WIF or Mother or any of these tokens, you'll have a much, much stronger offering on SwissBorg than anywhere else, just because we're going to be calculating for you the best place to go through. And this is just something that's not comparable at the moment. There is Jupiter that does something quite similar, but obviously it's not a centralized exchange and the UI is a bit different. You need to create your Phantom wallet, then you're owner of your keys, so you also take that risk. In terms of, for example, if you compare us to most of the other exchanges, when you type crypto on the Apple Store on Android Market, this is literally something that makes us so much different, and that's such a powerful and understandable unique selling proposition that it will, or it should at least, make us all excited. And for me at least, it makes me super excited. Here's another slide where we just explain even more why settle for one when you can choose 11. Obviously here we're talking about exchanges. Don't take it and use it for other purposes. It could be a good meme, but we're not going in that direction. We really want to promote the fact that we're aggregating 11 exchanges. So it's just like if you were typing going from Geneva to Lisbon and you had an app that showed you this is the price of EasyJet, this is Swiss, this is TAP Portugal, this is Ryanair, this is Wizz Air, and you have everything that's listed there, and you can just pick the cheapest one. If your goal is to go from A to B and you don't care about comfort, then you would obviously just be looking at the cheapest one. And as when you're buying a Bitcoin, you don't necessarily mind which Bitcoin it is on the ledger, then it means that you're looking for the cheapest price, and this is exactly what we're providing. 11 places is starting to be a huge number, and we're only adding. So you can only assume that it's going to get more and more powerful. After all of those explanations, it's actually now your job to go and test it out. And if you do, you can take a screenshot of the transaction detail and share it on social media. Use the hashtag #BetterThanTech and you can win up to 500 euros. So first off, you get to test great tech at the best price. And you make also money out of it if you're in the 10 people that are selected. You can win 500, 250, 100, or 7 times 20. You have 24 hours starting now, which is a very, very restricted amount of time. So it's probably more likely for you to win if you are watching this video right now. However, if you're watching it in the weekend, like a lot of people do, unfortunately, I'm sorry to announce, you have missed it. But you can still test the smart engine. It is worth noting that employees and UK residents cannot win, but they can participate if they want. They can do a swap and share it on social media. I don't see anything bad with that, but they cannot win any of the rewards, unfortunately. It is what it is. Now for a highly controversial topic, the Xborg thematic airdrop is happening on the 19th of September, which is in 2 days. It's going to be conducted in increments, which means you're not going to be getting everything at once. There is all of the information on the blog article that we published at the launch of the campaign. The investors who are eligible are the ones who haven't sold their positions before the 19th of August. And the airdrop amount is related to the initial amount that you invested in the gaming thematic. So the more you invested, the more you get. Obviously, all of the information is linked on the blog article. So if you're unsure about anything, feel free to hop on and read up because everything's written there. And it's a pretty good article. This is a sneaky slide that we definitely shouldn't be sharing because you can see the internal tags at the bottom left and the top right. But it's quite an interesting one. I'm not going to read it out because I don't want many people to figure out what we're talking about, but something's cooking and might be coming. If everything goes well, if the testing goes well and there's no problems, then we'll see that happening quite soon. Social media engagement. We can see that you guys have loved the post about the alpha opportunities. The AI have been a trend that are super popular, obviously for very good reason. Daniel has done an amazing job at explaining why, how, when you could participate. And it was very nice to see just the enthusiasm around them, hoping that the next alpha opportunities will be just as exciting. Thank you so much for all of the love on socials. It's we see everything, we track everything, and we're very happy when we see all of that happening and when we see you being happy as well. Weekly Borg data, unfortunately, it is a relatively slow month. July and August aren't very popular months. People are on vacation, they're chilling around, and we can see it in these numbers as well. 144 new premiums or premium upgrades, 23.39% of the Borg staked, minus 1.4% on the weekly price change. The Guardians have a pool of 11.4 million Borg, which we're going to be using next quarter. So make sure that you don't miss that vote. And 155,000 holders of Borg in the app, which is nice and growing, but could be growing faster and will be growing faster. SwissBorg app, 92,000 weekly active users, 1.1 billion user assets, 658 KYC verification. So we can see that the numbers are growing, but growing slowly but steadily. And we're hoping that September, October, or November will be much stronger months, like March was, for example, just because of all the volatility that we have talked about in the market update and the presidential elections, which will be obviously giving us maybe a quite big boost. This leads us up to the community index. Obviously, we talked about a relatively slow month, but it doesn't mean that you can't put your number here. You should put your number there. What do you think? I see people giving some numbers between 0 and 10. This isn't live, so I'm doing my best to make it exciting. and 5.7. Indeed, unfortunately, all of the volume and the Borg and the invitations are pulling us down, but the social media, which means you guys directly watching this video, going on Twitter, following, liking, retweeting, commenting, everything is hyping us up and making that number bigger, making our smiles bigger as well. And we're super happy that we're entering finally a phase where we will be seeing bigger numbers. Maybe to the upside, probably to the upside, maybe to the downside, but for sure we're going to be seeing bigger numbers. This is the end of the powwow. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please remember always to make sure you do your own due diligence. We give some information out here and we show some charts that we think are interesting. But obviously, if you didn't understand everything, it's perfectly normal. You can go on ChatGPT, Yahoo Finance, YouTube, and find all of the information that you need to understand exactly how the US are going to be affecting our positions. Because when we are doing an investment, we are taking a risk and it's important to be able to understand that risk. So feel free if you have some questions, go on our social media. We're always here to help. You can ask us on Discord, on Twitter, tag me, tag Cyrus, tag someone, and we'll make sure to try and get as much information as we can out to you. In the meantime, wish you a very profitable week and thank you for watching this powwow. Let's not forget, be wealthy, be healthy, love our Borg and equity. See you next time. Thank you for watching our weekly powwow episode. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, tune in next week anyway, so that you can figure out if it's better then. Bye!